Going live, my friend. And we are officially live on Misfit Mondays. I'm super pumped. Yes, here we are. It's me. It's Bobby. I know you're worried right now because you're looking down there. You see Yas's little square down there.
Hello, there he is.
He's actually here. Yas is here, man.
I
We
made
missed
it.
it for 2 weeks. We got him back. We're pumped. For those of you that have never watched the show before, Misfit Mondays is all about talking about things that are happening in the world, and we like to kind of put our own perspective on it. If you're curious who I am, my name's Cliff Skeletor. You can see it right down there on the bar. That's my name. And this is Bobby and Yas of Dead Celebrity Status. We're super excited tonight, though, because we just launched our new website, misfitmondays.com. So, if you're watching this show, you could be watching it from Google Hangouts, from the Google Plus world, but more than likely you're watching it on misfitmondays.com and you're joining us, and we're happy that you're here. How you two guys feeling?
Fucking awesome. First of all, the new site is awesome. Big up, thanks to Cliff for making that shit happen. Secondly, Mr. Yas Talat, welcome back. Welcome back.
I don't even feel like I'm back.
Welcome back. It's like Yas Carter.
Yes, Potter, I like it.
Yes, sir.
Two things.
Yes,
One is I can't hear Cliff. Bobby, are you getting that at all?
What's that?
I could barely hear Cliff. Can you hear Cliff well?
I could hear Cliff.
Oh, really? I hear you perfect. I could barely hear Cliff.
it's
You're like a
when
little
I talk to
whispering
you,
mouse
Yas.
Cliff right now.
Oh, that's bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hope not everybody's hearing it that way. If somebody is hearing it that way, what you're going to notice as you're on the misfitmondays.com website, down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's a chat function, and you can actually chat while we're doing the show. And I notice a couple of people are chatting on here while we're doing it. Just chat at us. Let us know if if you can hear my voice well. You can let.
All right, that was my number one. My number two is the site looks awesome.
Beautiful, and you know what? I got to make sure to thank one of the guys I work with. His name's Jason Hebert. Awesome designer, amazing programmer. Me and him are working together, as you guys know, on my new project, which is Launchpad. And you can actually go to officiallaunchpad.com and check out that stuff. But don't go there now. Stay with us. Watch the show. We got some exciting stuff for you.
Yeah, I was actually gonna mention Jason, to be honest. He was on my list of people to thank right after I mentioned the site, but you just jumped in. You're used to me not being around, Cliff, and you're just taking over now. That's it.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
So Jason, shout out to you, brother. I know you put in a lot of hard work to put the site together, and it looks fucking awesome. Me and Bobby have been scoping it out, but today's like the official launch, the new home of Misfit Mondays. Like you said, there's that cool little chat box on the bottom. So yeah, great job, Cliff. Great job, Jason. We're excited to have a new home.
Absolutely beautiful, and yes, people are using it. I can see there. So this is going to be really interesting. I'm actually really pumped about it. I'm a little rattled at the moment. That's why we had to start a little bit late. I got to apologize to you guys. If you guys notice, my background's different, and the reason why is because I'm using his computer. He kind of hooked me up with a new setup. That's Jason, my boy from Launchpad, and he hooked me up with a new setup. Look, check this out. Check this mic out.
Wow.
Sick.
Yeah, that's why I was concerned that you couldn't hear me, Yas, because I got this beautiful mic set up now. And then he's got me set up everything on his computer. But this is the thing. This is something that you guys know about me. This is a Mac computer. And I'm not good on Mac computers. I use PCs, as you can see behind me.
Well, welcome to the dark side today, buddy.
Yeah, welcome to the dark side. But I honestly can't hear you. I could barely hear you, dude.
Geez, I don't know. And you can hear Bobby really well.
Bobby, like crystal clear, like a beautiful man. Should be heard.
Yes.
Somebody came on and said that they can't hear me. This is bizarre. Is anything changed if I talk closer to the mic?
A little bit. It gets a little bit louder, yeah.
Maybe it's something to do with my volume settings. Cliff's quiet, yeah. Damn, that's a beard, somebody said. Whoa, who the heck is that guy? So I'm just reading them live. I'm so excited about it. Okay, I'm going to let you guys chat a little bit. Let's get into our first thing of the day, okay? And then I'm going to kind of play around with my volume settings, see if I can get it better. But, I don't have my little things that come up on the screen as we're transitioning because I'm at a new computer. But let's kind of talk about the first topic that we want to talk about in our deadline. So this is the portion of the show where we kind of try to pick up something that's going on around the world and kind of break it down. And one of the things that I know Yas and Bobby are really paying attention to a lot because they're so unbelievably passionate about it is the NBA and the NBA Finals last night where the San Antonio Spurs pretty much put on a clinic against the Miami Heat. So I know you guys have a lot on that. So I kind of want to hear you guys break it down and your thoughts on the whole finals.
Well, you said it best, dude. They put on a fucking clinic. I've been watching basketball since I was a young little boy, and I've watched a lot of basketball in my life, a lot of great basketball. Watching the Spurs in this finals is probably the best basketball I've ever seen in my life in terms of a team actually playing like team basketball. Phenomenal, and it's amazing. I love the message that it sends to the NBA that a small market team like San Antonio with good management and things of that nature could actually build a perennial contender like year in and year out. So I loved watching it, and I loved the message. I love the message that it sends. So big up San Antonio, fucking beautiful.
And to go along with what you're actually saying is San Antonio has been a contender since they drafted Tim Duncan, which is what, like, how many years has that been?
Well, here's an interesting stat. Tim Duncan is only one of 2 players or 3 players to actually win a championship in 3 different decades. So he won in the 90s, he won in 2000s, and now 2010s.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And it goes with what you're saying. It's like San Antonio, they from David Robinson to Tim Duncan, it's like they have their pieces and they build with that. They never blow it up, and it's not like Spurs have been in the finals every year. There's been times where they've busted, but they've always been confident in what they have, their management, their coaching, right? Popovich, the pieces they have, and always just did the right things. And that's what you're saying. There's like a new mentality now, especially not necessarily with teams, but with players. It's like, oh, if it doesn't work out for a year or 2 where we're situated, let's go to the next place, right? Mm-hmm. You don't need that. And it's really good to see Tim Duncan, see Popovich, see that Spurs organization continue to be a contender. Last year, going to the finals, and this year, reclaiming their title. It's incredible. And for me, just, me, I'm not a fan of Miami. I think a lot of people are not a fan of Miami and that triad, and it was just good to see them get smacked around in 5 games. So I'm really, really happy about that. So, Bobby, I'll ask you, actually, because we had a little bit of time to talk about this, and you got a lot of opinions. Let's start with Miami. We'll talk about both of them, but start with Miami. Where does Miami go from here after this clobbering, and maybe you could talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, where do we go? You got to go somewhere. You can't maintain status quo. If you watch the finals, basically Dwayne Wade is on his last legs. I mean, he looked rough. He looked bad. He's playing on bad knees, even if he doesn't want to admit it. He was a shell of his former self. He's
barely contributing.
Yeah, he's contributing, but not to the level that is needed, right? He barely can play defense anymore because his legs are so bad. Chris Bosh, he disappeared. He's a shadow of his former self. LeBron James is the best basketball player on the planet, hands down. Can't do it by himself, though. So, with that being said, a couple things might have to happen. One, LeBron may have to leave. He may have to leave to chase another ring. Number 2, they can try and build that team in Miami, get some other bench pieces and retool, so to speak, and take another shot at it. But from a business standpoint, it's going to be very hard to do when you have 3 players taking up like $65 million in cap room. So to me, honestly, the only option, if I'm LeBron James, I go back home to Cleveland because another thing we were talking about, Yas, is his legacy. He's got to really start thinking about his legacy now and how he wants to be remembered. And I think the only move for him would be to go back home to the Cavs, to his hometown, and try and bring them a championship, period.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%. I think he can chase a ring and he could build his legacy by going back to Cleveland. And he can do that. He's going home. They love him there. He has a chance to make up for the faults that he made, going to Miami and treating them the way they treated. Just the feelings. There's really there's a lot of hurt feelings in Cleveland, and he has an opportunity. A lot of people don't get that opportunity to make up for them. And if he can take Cleveland to the promised land, all will be forgiven, and he will cement that legacy. I think he's a much matured LeBron James. I used to hate him with a passion. After the season, don't hate him. He is the best player in the world today, and he's a matured character. And so I'd prefer a LeBron in Cleveland, building with the pieces they have there and whatnot. As far as Chris Bosh, I'm glad he's gone. He's no longer a Raptor, and I could give a shit less of it. That didn't even make sense, but I could care less as to what happens to him next. But he's kind of a trap for any team that wants him because his payroll is just astronomical for what he contributes on the floor right now. So he's really in a tough bind.
Yeah, fully agree. So it's going to be exciting to see what happens. And it's all going to unfold pretty quickly, right? You have free agency July 1st, so they have to make decisions and quick. So it's exciting to see what's going to happen next year.
Yeah, I'll ask you one more thing about basketball, and we'll move on. But what about the Spurs? They are now the champs. Last question. What do they do at this point? Is this where they hang it up high, guys like Tim Duncan, and retire on a high note, or do they come back for one more year? What's up?
They come back. I mean, Tim Duncan is 38 years old. In basketball years, that's old. You shouldn't be functioning at a high level at this point. But he's proven that he can still contribute, right? Ginobili has proven they can still contribute. Tony Parker, I say you bring that entire team back and you go for number 6 and tie. If Tim Duncan gets 6, he's tying Michael Jordan. That puts him in a pretty elite category. He's already a future Hall of Famer, probably the best power forward ever to live. But I mean, he's only got 1 or 2 more years left. So why not compete with this team? Because they can compete. So
yeah. I agree with 1 more year, especially there isn't a lot of competition in the East at all, especially with Miami falling apart. We saw what happened to the Pacers. I don't know what they're going to do in the offseason. But as long as they can get through the West, they will have another title. And you see what Leonard was able to do in the playoffs this year, MVP in that finals. Keep building, the young players they have, their backups. And yeah, I think they're destined for another title if they keep that core together for 1 more, as long as they're healthy, right? If Tim Duncan doesn't go over the season or something, as long as they remain healthy, and I'd be happy for that. I'd be happy for them. I'd be happy for that legacy.
On a side note, a basketball player from Toronto, T-Dot kid, Corey Joseph, won an NBA title last night.
That's right. That is absolutely correct.
Yeah, he's from Scarborough, so big ups to Corey Joseph. Awesome.
So that's what we got for you, Cliff. How's it going on your end?
Well, you gotta let me know, how's my voice sounding at this point?
Not much better.
I can hear you good.
So I'm confused. So I got a message from 1 or 2 people saying it was quiet, then a couple of people said I wasn't quiet. So I'm not 100% sure. So I'm gonna have to kind of look into that.
That's okay. I'll pay attention. Don't worry, sir. I'll wing it.
Yeah. So I'll so you can hear what I'm saying. So with that being said, moving on from the NBAs, and you guys gave us some excellent insight. I know it's something that you guys are very passionate about. Let's talk about the other sporting event that's happening right now, the biggest sporting event in the world, and that's the World Cup. Come on, guys, let us know. Tell me what you guys think so far of the World Cup, Yas and Bobby.
I was almost going to jump down your throat and correct you, but you did that yourself. It's not the other sporting event. For the World Cup is the sporting event. We're tricked here in North America that it's the Super Bowl and the baseball pennant shape. No, in the world, it's World Cup soccer. So Bobby, thoughts so far?
You could start. You're a passionate soccer guy, so you can.
Okay. I have 2 sides. I'm like Two-Face right now. It's going to be Yas, who loves soccer. You know me. I've always been a fan of World Cup. I've been on the streets with flags, being on TV and the news, going crazy. But I've also, politically, I've changed a whole lot too. And my problem with World Cup soccer is the same problems I have with things like the Olympics and whatnot. And it's very hard. I've been watching the World Cup. but not religiously, not like super intently. It's hard for me not to watch it, so I feel bad even while I'm watching it. But there's just so much happening there. It's Brazil, you know. They're spending billions of dollars on the World Cup when that money should be going into their infrastructure, into their poor, which they have a lot of, you know, building their communities and helping. And instead, it's going towards ultimately rich white Europeans that are flying in to enjoy the summer, and it's actually really fucking shitty, and that's hard for me to swallow. So those are the two sides. I love World Cup more than any other sporting event, but it's a tough pill to swallow knowing the dire straits of a country like Brazil. So, Bobby, your thoughts?
Yeah, my sentiments exactly. I was just reading an article, actually. 250,000 displaced people since this World Cup began, and that stat to me is just that's probably on the low end, right? So yeah. You hit the nail on the head. It's not beneficial to the poor of Brazil or the poor anywhere. It benefits rich people. Which sucks because soccer is a wonderful sport, right? It's the world's biggest sport. And to me, I think me and Cliff were talking, and he was asking me why soccer is so big, and just look at the economics of soccer. There's more poor people in this world, hence a lot more people playing soccer, right? So with that being said, yeah, it's kind of hard to watch when you know what's going on. It's hard to watch and enjoy it. For what it is, it's a beautiful sport, right? And it's, and like I said, it's poor people playing, but it's not poor people benefiting from this wonderful sport. So
it's true, and that's my problem with it. Especially, it's, you know, it's such a beautiful sport, and you're right. Like the first thing kids learn to do is run and then kick a ball. And in a poor country like my father, growing up in Morocco, what they did is all the neighborhood kids brought their socks, and they'd make a ball, one big ball out of socks, and they played for hours, and that was what they did. They played soccer with socks for hours, and I think that resonates around the world. It doesn't matter if you're Asian, if you're, you know, indigenous, whether you're white European, you could play with the ball, and you could play soccer. You don't need much at all. Yeah, so it's really tough. The displaced people, disenfranchised. We saw the same thing happen in Beijing for the Olympics. But what I find interesting too is you know how hard people were on the Russian Olympics, right? Like really talking about the socio-political side of it, right? People really up in arms about it, right? Oh, damn you, Russia! You're killing all the stray dogs. I don't hear a lot of that happening in World Cup Brazil right now. Like, it's like people don't give a shit. It's not Russia and it's not the dogs, so no one cares about the thousands and thousands of homeless Brazilians being pushed out of their land to build these gigantic stadiums that aren't even fully safe because half of them aren't even like fully built. Like, did you read that? Like, right up until the first game was played, arenas weren't complete.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
Hey guys, I hate to cut you off here. We could talk about that a little bit more, but I'm still dealing with this mic situation a bit. I'm going to increase my gain a bit. Yes, tell me if you notice a difference right now. Did you just notice a difference?
Just talk so I can hear you.
Yeah, okay, so I'm just talking right now, and I'm increasing the gain, so you let me know if you can notice a difference. I feel like we're 50-50 split in the conversation. Some people say they can hear me, I'm audible, and other people say I'm quiet, but I'm audible, but apparently you guys are pretty loud. So do you notice a difference? Yes.
No difference. But you are audible. Like, I can hear you. Like, it's not like the show's ruined because we can't hear muted Cliff. But, like, when I hear Bobby talk and I can hear my voice, like, we're super crystal clear and loud, and you just kind of like you're behind a wall or something.
Well, I'm glad to know that you believe if they couldn't hear me that the show would be ruined. So that actually does a lot for my confidence. So I appreciate that, man. That means
there you go, sir. That's how we feel about you.
I love you, buddy.
Well, Bobby, can I ask you?
Yeah.
If you needed some more technical stuff, you can interrupt. But Bobby, you got some sense on the positive side of World Cup. You got some teams that you're rooting for, or at least want to see do well.
Colombia.
We're Team Colombia.
Team Colombia. I think we've had this discussion. You're very similar to me as well. I when it comes to soccer, I like to root for the underdog. Do you know what I mean? The countries who are small and are poverty-stricken. I love those kind of countries. I don't really necessarily root for the Brazils and Argentinas and the
Italy. Greece.
Yeah. The soccer countries who have a lot of money funneled into their soccer programs, right? And so I'm with Colombia. Canada doesn't have a team, so or else I would support Canada for sure. But
too bad. It's too bad. I'm Team Colombia. I've been Team Colombia since I was a kid. Team Carlos Valderrama. Me and him used to have the same hair.
You did. You had the same hair.
Like growing up in high school, like that was like one of my idols because I'm a big soccer fan, and so I always loved it. And Bobby and I recently watched this documentary on 30 for 30 of the two Pablos, and it's about the two Escobars. Escobar that got killed, who played for the Colombian team, and Pablo Escobar, the drug dealer, who basically helped give an opportunity for these players to actually play nationalistically. A really great documentary, and it made me love Team Colombia that much more. So they're back again. Colombia, but also for me, like you said, I pretty much cheer for all the African nations, all the more, even like seeing like Korea, like even like non-typical soccer dynamos out there. I cheer for this year with Colombia. I got Team Algeria. That's Morocco's neighbor, so they're basically like my brothers. So I got Algeria. I like Iran that just tied today. I like Ghana. Bosnia, first time ever. So a lot of these. The Ivory Coast, like a lot of the smaller nations I'm rooting for. Of all the powerhouses, the only one I'll ever cheer for is France. I like Team France. Again, it's nationalistic for me because we always have a lot of Moroccans or Algerians on their team. So I end up rooting for them. So let me ask you one more question about World Cup, Bobby. Does World Cup make us nationalistic? Or does it just give us an opportunity to be racist?
Both.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good point. Yeah, because soccer's all about nationalism. It's a political game, more so than like say basketball is. It's in North America we have cities going against cities, right? And sometimes in basketball you even see it like with for example Toronto Raptors and when they were playing Brooklyn, you started to hear American chants, right? Or
fuck Brooklyn.
Yeah, but when they were playing, you'd hear the Brooklyn crowd going USA. USA, or Canada would do the same thing. You see it in fighting too, when an American fights, say, a Brazilian, and they start chanting USA. So that's individual sports or city against city. Now think about soccer. These are entire countries, entire nations, and the politics behind that. Yeah, it makes people nationalistic because to a lot of people, especially people who are poor, that's all they have, dude. That's, you know what I mean? That's like their saving grace. It's like that's their, I'm proud to be fucking Colombian, and we grew up worshiping soccer. That's going to bring nationalistic pride. It's also, on the flip side, going to bring to the surface maybe any prejudice you may have, right? Because it's nationalistic. Totally.
Yeah.
Oh.
Beautiful, boys. Hey, how does my mic sound?
Yeah, it gives people an opportunity to voice them where they couldn't just every day.
Yeah,
sounds good, Cliff.
Yo, I sound good because I just tried something different, so I'm good now?
But like, yeah, you're good, but your camera's frozen.
Oh, is it still frozen? I'm just going to move back and forth.
You're good for me.
Yeah, you're still frozen, but I can hear you.
Can you see me, Bobby?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, you know what? Different problems, different reasons. I have no idea, but I'm glad that you guys can hear me better now.
Oh, I can hear you beautiful now, sir. Welcome to the show.
Absolutely excellent. Super pumped. I'm happy. I'm loving listening to you guys. You know what? I'm just starting to think it's better if I just get the hell out of the way most of the time. You know what I mean?
No, we need your beautiful face and your beautiful beard here, my brother.
Yeah, I agree. Fear the beard. Love the beard. Love the beard.
Me and Yas are not handsome enough to hold this show down.
Not even remotely.
No, so we need like the really handsome guy to step in and hold us down.
Yeah, like if you look at the three beards, you have like the Darth Vader of beards.
I love it, man. That actually helped me with my decision because I was considering shaving it. I've been kind of on the fence on whether or not I should shave it, and this really just completely made up my mind, man. If you guys are impressed with it, I'm doing something right.
That's it. Just say Darth Vader in front of anything, and you're sold.
Yeah, the problem is I wish women liked it as much as you guys do.
I heard women love beards.
I think it's a bit of a split too. I think it's a split. So yeah, maybe some do. Yeah, I don't know. This is I am single at the moment, so there's kind of proof in the pudding. So
No, it all comes down to confidence, Cliff. If you rock it confident, they'll always love it.
Yeah, I love it, guys. I know you guys aren't at the moment looking at the chat on the page, but if you actually go look at the page when you get the chance, people are chatting up a storm on here. They're having a good time. They let me know, Cliff.
I want to say two things before we continue. One is about beards. Do you know when I enjoy someone with a beard, like I feel confident, is if I go into like a new restaurant, like a more of like a hipster type eatery.
Oh, you're saying this the other day to me, yes.
If the chef has a beard, I feel like the food's gonna be good. If he's got tatted sleeves and a beard, I'm like, okay, that hipster chef is gonna have some good cooking. I can sense it. In a cafe as well. If I go into a cafe, not like a Starbucks, but like a local cafe, and the barista there has a big beard, I'm like, oh, that guy's gonna make me a good latte. So that's how my head works.
I got another one.
Okay.
I got, since you came up with those two gems, another one is in academia. If the professor has a lot of facial hair, he's actually smarter to me.
Hobbes are my favorite professor, one of my favorite professors of all time, and one of the most brilliant men I know. Professor Hobbes comes in with that big giant beard.
Yes, sir.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Also, my other thing is, anytime I go out to hire a lumberjack, it's very important to have a beard.
You have to. That should be a prerequisite.
Is Kyle with us today?
Kyle is not with us today. No.
Okay. Jason's with us today. Someone's with us today.
Nobody's with us. It's just Cliffy holding down.
I'm putting it on you. Maybe you could put a picture of a beard up, someone with a beard, and let's find out where else we feel confident if that person has a beard. A lumberjack.
Well, I gotta say, I'll do.
Go ahead.
Okay, I can talk. Okay? So yeah, I just wanted to say one of the things that we're having a good chat here over here in the chat section, and people are kind of talking about the beard, and we're getting a lot of different comments from people. But one of my favorite ones so far is, Cliff, I can't hear you through your beard.
Nice. Take the birds out of your beard, Cliff. They're annoying me.
Exactly. Guest 22 says, and this person doesn't have a name, they should get themselves an account so I can actually see their name, because this person said beards are hot.
Yeah.
So.
You know what I will say, this chat thing is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Really it's the coolest thing. Yeah. But guest 741, what they said, which kind of, I don't know what they mean by this completely. Darth Vader erectile dysfunction. That's it.
That's it. I like it.
Wait, this one. And then this person responded again. I feel confident I'm about to be molested when I see beards of that nature.
Whoa! Oh boy!
See? So, I mean, not everyone loves it, like I said.
No.
But what can we do about that? Yeah, and well, we're going to keep chatting with you guys as we do the show, but we have to move into the next section of the show. It's a very important section. It's a section of the show that I love.
I forgot to finish my final point.
Oh, sorry, dude. Well, you do that, I'm actually going to post that.
Nationalism and World Cup, and I never got to make a final point. Can I make a point?
Yes. You can make a point.
It's the only time where people are vocal about their racism. So, for example, it's not just like they're proud to be Italian. It's like when the Italians are like, as long as those damn Portuguese don't win. Like I'm in Greek town, and that's what I hear. I'm like, as long as the Italians don't win, or the Spaniards, like you hear that. That's all. That's my point. And I'm like that too. I'm like, as long as one of the big countries doesn't win, I'm okay with that. So.
Yeah, I would agree. People are very vocal too. You're right. People are very vocal with their inner surface or inner racial beliefs.
Yeah,
just come out.
The hate comes out in a way that I guess it's a good way to channel it. If just throw it all onto soccer.
Yeah, Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
that book, like we read a book in university. It's pretty amazing how soccer explains the world. One of the most
That
amazing reads you
was
will ever
yeah.
have.
That was our philosophy class. I remember
Yeah,
that book.
brilliant, brilliant book, and it actually relates to every day, like how soccer explains the world. It's
Yep.
really, really cool. All right, where'd Cliff go?
You guys are supposed to hold down the fort for a second. I'm doing double duty. You can't ask me to do things and then
well,
ask me to come back.
All right, leave us with a smash. Leave us with a smash or trash.
Okay, that's
Before you
beautiful
bounce.
because that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start off Smash or Trash, and just in case some of you guys don't know, Smash or Trash is the portion of the show where we come up with 8 things, random, whatever comes in our head, and I ask Yas and Bobby. I say we, but I ask Yas and Bobby what they think. They haven't heard this before, so that's an important part. When they give their Smash or Trash, they haven't had a whole bunch of time to think about it. They're just kind of saying what comes into their head right away. So, are you guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excellent.
Always. Let's go.
Let's start it off with our first on our list, our Smash or Trash list. Smash or Trash top 10 lists.
Oh, smash. Smash, smash, smash.
Yeah, I'm super smash on that. Yas and I do that all the time with movies, music, film. Big fan of top 10.
With women?
We used to do it with all our friends.
Yo,
Dude, we actually
true, we did. We were younger.
all of
We
our
have
friends.
our top 10 lists.
Yeah, all of our friends. We had this group of friends who made top 10 lists, and we had one rule. You pick
One
your
rule.
you pick your top 10 girls. So say whatever, any top 10, and if you took her off and replaced her with somebody at any point, that girl could not return.
You can bump her down the line so she can
Yes.
go from number 2 to number 8. But as soon as she goes off that top 10, you can never bring her back on your list.
That's amazing. This is how we spent our time.
This is a long time ago. This is when we were much younger, like high school days. So, last week, actually, I just revamped my list.
I like that you tried to justify yourself on this.
No, but I do love lists. Lists are brilliant. I got lists all over my computer. My computer's full of all these little notes of just lists that I make. All types of lists.
Well,
I love lists.
Yeah, and you know what? I got to kick back to this this conversation that's going on live while we do this show live. People are coming up with some pretty funny stuff, but I learned that guest 22 is Pam. So Pam, what's up, Pam? That's our Pam. So you should actually create yourself you should create yourself a name, Pam. Oh, she's trying to figure out how to create herself a name. And then, in regards to the Darth Vader thing, the response from guest 741 is, because Yas said put Darth Vader in front of anything and you make it cool.
Oh, I see. So even that would be cool. Got it. Very clever. Well played, sir. Well played. Or ma'am. Either
Do
or.
you think erectile dysfunction is cool? Now that Darth Vader's in front of it?
Sure.
Vader.
Yeah, sure. If you take my legs, because Darth Vader, sure. You know what the chat board room thing is gonna do, right, Cliff?
What?
I'll tell you what it's gonna do.
Please tell us, Bobby.
Well, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's the same thought that you have. One, it'll make it more interactive. Two, it's gonna extend this show to about 3 hours.
Absolutely. It's gonna be like the red dot for Cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cliff
it's
can't focus
basically
anymore.
that chat room to me is like what a laser pointer is to a cat.
The red light, it's the beam. The Cliff cannot focus on anything but what's happening in that chat room. We're on Smash or Trash, and he's come back into topic number 2 to talk about who guest 23 is.
Hey, I would like to say that I am multitasking over here, guys. I'm posting things on the Facebook. I'm doing some things at once, but you're right. I'm gonna stop talking to these people for a second. Actually, just kidding. I want to keep talking to them, man. We've been doing this is
All
like
right,
our
give us number
29th.
2.
I'm really excited to talk to them. All right, but we'll move on to number 2 on our list. And in regards to top 10 list, I also give it a smash. So number 2, Smash or Trash on the Fast
So I didn't catch the end of that. What is it?
I didn't catch
Smash
any
or
of it.
trash. Smash or trash on the
Yep.
Fast and Furious series.
Fast and Furious. Oh, the movies? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, super fucking trash. Not a fan at all. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah, I'm just not a fan. I don't have I don't know why. I just don't like it. Even the first one, I don't like.
I'm gonna go lukewarm smash.
Wow.
I don't think they're good movies. However,
No.
I never walk out of a Fast and Furious movie and be like, I wish I had an hour and a half back of my life. It's like they're just kind of like dumb popcorn movies. Don't watch it when I have my best snacks. It's kind of like, like you're on the road stuck in a Greyhound bus, and if you have that movie on your laptop, you watch it, and it killed an hour and a half, and you're not that disappointed.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it, and I also like Vin Diesel. I always root for Vin Diesel.
That's why. That's where we differ. I can't stand Vin Diesel, and I can't, rest in peace to Paul Walker. I was never a fan of Paul Walker's work either. So maybe that's why I dislike those movies so much.
Except Paul Walker in
Yes.
Running Scared is still one of the best performances and one of the best films to come out in a long time. That movie's brilliant.
It's
Yes,
good.
you said something there that got my interest, and I really do have to bring this up. You said when you watch Fast and Furious movies, you don't eat your best snacks. Now this makes me curious. Are the type of snacks you eat dictated by the level of movie you're watching? Because I need to know about this.
Absolutely, and I think Bobby's this. I think we're both
Exact
the
same way.
same way. Yeah. We have a hierarchy of when we watch movies and what we eat with it. If it's like more daytime, you just want to put on the TV while you eat dinner, kind of like just sit and watch TV and eat some food. It'll be like a Fast and the Furious. Like nothing too compelling, nothing to relax. You may stop it. You may get up and take a walk outside. My nighttime snacks, though, that's when it's late at night. My favorite snacks, that's when I shut my phone off. That's when I'm not being bothered by anybody. I watch the movie. And sometimes it sucks, especially like with Netflix, when you're watching something and you're realizing 20 minutes in, fuck, this isn't what I should be watching with these snacks. And then you just watch Dumb and Dumber again because it's like an easy score. But yeah, definitely for me, I'm dictated by what I'm watching.
And that's why when me and Yas talk about a movie, say he just watched a movie and he said, most people are like, yeah, it's good, it's entertaining. We call that a dinner movie, right? That it's a dinner movie, meaning
Watchable.
it's watchable. It might even suck, but kind of worth watching. There's a couple things to see. We would call that a dinner movie.
Yeah.
I think that you guys really do need to kind of write this ranking system down, and then in the future with like movie reviews and stuff and TV show reviews, all you need to say to people
That's a
is
good idea.
this was the movie it was, and they'll know.
That's a good idea.
Great idea. That's wicked. I like that.
Did I redeem myself for getting distracted by the chat?
You totally redeemed yourself. Dumb and Dumber style.
Just when you thought you were losing me, I come back.
You're back.
Totally redeem yourself.
Good dumb. Even though I screwed up the quote and Bobby fixed it for me.
There it
Yes,
is.
sir.
That's called teamwork. Me and Bobby have been developing a relationship while you've been gone, yeah. So now it's just like we're on the same page together.
I see that. And I'm just going to try and fuck it up. So I'm going to go opposite way. I'm going to use this quote. I'm going to say what you should have said was, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Nice.
Little Godfather, Sopranos.
It's a great one, man. I love it. Absolutely loved it, and I love the monkey wrench you threw in there. It kind of, it did kind of mess things up with me and Bobby a little bit, but I think we can come back from it.
I like the Dumb and Dumber one better, so I'm actually inside. I'm just shedding one tear internally. Damn it.
All right, well, let's see if we can get back on track as a team here, and we'll go to number three. Number three being Smash or Trash on Kate Beckinsale.
Smash.
Smash.
Dude, we were just talking about our top 10 lists.
I was just going to say it.
And Kate Beckinsale was always like in my top 2, top 3 back then. And if I had to make a list of female actresses that I enjoy, still to this day, she'd be in my top 3.
Yeah, and I would say, I don't know if she'd be in my top 3, but if we were to still continue the rules, like bring it back, we brought our top 10 list, she would still be legally allowed on my list because I've never taken Kate Beckinsale off of my top 10.
That is true. That is true.
And this goes way back, like, 15 years ago, maybe even more than that. But yeah, Kate Beckinsale, Smash, love her. She's great, great actress, great everything.
You know what? She really is a great actress. But again, I don't want to extend this too long. She really is a great actress. But is it just me, or does she just doesn't appear in enough good things?
Yeah, I think there's been some career choices. Underworld, I think the first one was great for her to really blow up. But she got held into that contract and did a bunch of shitty Underworld movies, and that kind of played its course. And her and Keira Knightley kind of the same thing, with the Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff. And whereas Keira has done a little bit more, I do agree with you. She hasn't done enough, and I think she lost her time. There was a time where Kate Beckinsale was very sought after. That time has passed, and it's unfortunate because she's great.
Yeah, I completely agree with her, with both of you guys on that. Huge Smash. I'm a huge fan of Kate Beckinsale. Yeah, loving her. All right, so let's move on to number 4. Number 4, Smash or Trash on dieting.
Trash on the concept of dieting, smash on eating healthy for a lifestyle. And that's the thing people confuse. Yeah, you have to change your diet to eat healthy and be healthy, but the problem is people put dieting with like a time capsule. And unless you're like in a sporting event where you need to diet to train for a fight for 3 months, that's a completely different world. But I'm talking about people who are like, summer's coming, I better diet now, or I got a wedding, I better diet. It's a weird voice I'm using. Why don't I just use my own voice? But yeah, totally trash because they don't work. People try to cut corners, and even if they lose weight or whatever, it's never the healthy route. It just ends up bad, and that's why fads and corporations eat off of people's insecurities to constantly be feeding them diets and diets and diets and diets. Eat healthy, be healthy, change your diet for a long-term goal. That's my thought.
Yeah, I completely agree. Super fucking trash. How people view dieting is completely backwards. A diet is just usually what you eat, what you put in your body. It doesn't mean cutting calories to scary fucking levels. Do you know what I mean? So super trash on the dieting.
Yeah, and if you want to change your diet so you're eating a healthy lifestyle, what I recommend more than anything is education. It doesn't take, looking for a blog and it says, here's your top 10 tips on how to, no, you need to do some research. You need to talk to somebody you might know. Everybody knows somebody who's into fitness or health. Talk to them. Do your research like anything else and learn and grow from it. Even if you know a lot, you could still learn more, right? So that's it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, very important, the word die is in dieting.
Huh? It is. So is the word ting, which is a Jamaican term.
Women who run the thing.
Oh man, I love it, guys. I love it. See, we're back on track. We're doing great together. So let's move on to number 5, everybody. On inspirational quotes. Speaking of, there's dieting. Yeah, smash or trash on inspirational quotes.
I'm gonna go smash. Yo.
Yep, I can hear you, Bobby.
Can you hear me? All right, did you hear what Cliff said?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just heard inspirational quotes. Is that the smash or trash?
Yeah, so smash or trash, inspirational quotes. I'm going smash. Why not? And super fucking smash to Bruce Lee, because everything out of his mouth is an inspirational quote. So if it helps you, why not? Smash.
Yeah, I'm smashed for inspirational quotes. You know, there's so many of them, like Bruce Lee, Malcolm X, great philosopher, Noam Chomsky, or Slavoj Zizek. Like, there's so many, great things that we can learn off of just one quote. What I do hate, what I will trash, is people that, like on Instagram, put up a picture of a fucking field and they have some quote on there and it's supposed to explain these thoughts they have. It's bullshit. Like, people who just throw them on their Facebook. It's like, look at me now. Blah. You retard. What's going on here? So, or they put up like song. They do that with song lyrics too. You ever see that now? It's like,
Yeah.
they'll put like this artsy looking photo and then like, artsy, and then just like a line from Drake. Started from the bottom. Now we're here. Where are you? You're like in a cornfield. This makes no sense right now. So yeah, smash inspiration and people who speak with inspiration.
Unless you're Jason Voorhees in a cornfield.
Best line of the day. We're in a cornfield.
That's it.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's a tough one. So overall, you're going to say smash or crash?
I go smash.
Okay. Yes?
Yeah, smash on inspirational quotes and people who speak with inspiration.
Okay. I like it. But it's one of those things where it's tough to give an answer on because it's obviously, and like a lot of things we bring up during our smash or trash, it's a pretty it's a general topic, right? So there's going to be elements to it that are awesome, the positivity and whatnot, but then there's other levels that are negative. And what's that Noam Chomsky quote? Yes, it goes something like, "You can't define me in a 15-second clip," something along those lines.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Which I love. It's like you can't define you or your life in a short little quote, but you know what? Maybe it helps you get out of bed, put your underwear on, and at least try to. It's good for that. All right, number 6.
Yeah, and you know what?
Smash.
I wish people. Hold on, can I say one more thing? I wish people would have a little more confidence in themselves and try to just come up with their own quotes. Just have fun with it. Like, say something. It doesn't have to be super inspirational or anything. Like, a lot of times when I post quotes on Facebook, I'll get people send me messages, go, "Oh, yo, dude, I tried searching that. I can't find it. Where'd you get that from?" And I'll be like, "I don't know. It's just like a random thought that came to my head. I don't even know its full meaning, or you know what I mean, or the potential it could have on anyone." Just try to say something, try to create something, and not just take something you Googled, right? Be creative with words.
Yeah, I get that. Anytime I try to come up with a quote or anything, typically I'm just trying to be a goofball, trying to be funny. 99% of the time that doesn't work out so well for me, but I am trying. The other time I will quote somebody else, and there's only one other person I will quote when I'm putting up Facebook statuses, and that's Jack Handy. Please tell me you guys remember Jack Handy. Deep Thoughts, remember SNL?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember him.
Oh, that's it. Jack Handy, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, he was funny.
And there's nothing wrong with quoting other people. I do it too. Like, I'm not going to lie. Not every one of my posts are my own. Like, sometimes I quote something from a movie or something cool, and that's good, but I try to mix it up, And did you also say, Cliff, that 99% of the time you're a goof?
I said, well, no, I didn't say that. I said 99% of the time I'm trying to be a funny goofball. Not 99. No. Let's get this right. I said most of the time. I'm just trying to be a funny goofball, and 99% of the time it doesn't work out for me.
There's a quote.
Just like this.
There's a quote. 99% of the time I'm a goof. Dude, that's a sick quote.
I love that. 99% of the time I'm a goof.
Because it gets straight to the point. But I'm wondering, A, what that other 1% is.
How many people want to fight you? Oh, shit.
How about this? 99 jokes, but a funny joke ain't one.
That's actually funny, though. You got Katie laughing in the background. Katie clings on to everything you say, Cliff.
Oh, I love Katie, man. Me and Katie, we're I don't know, we're pals, I guess. I don't know, we get along. We're on the same page. That's where I'm going with this.
99% of the time, Cliff's a goof.
Hey, you want to know what one of my pet peeves
You know what
is?
would be the best?
What?
The best. If like you have all these, Bruce Lee inspirational quotes, some academic Noam Chomsky quotes, and just in there, 99%, 9% of the time, Cliff's a goof. And people are like, what? What? Who's Cliff?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Cliff, I feel like a bully right now. I'm sorry, sir. I love you. I do not think you're a goof.
no,
I love you to death.
One of my pet peeves, though, is always when you say goof around somebody and they're like, "Hey, bud, where I'm from, bud, that'll get you shanked, eh, bud?"
Bud, my word, bud.
Yeah.
My word, bud.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of it's a pretty silly thing. But let's move away from that because I'm getting kind of sick of getting picked on by Yas the bully. Giving poor Cliff a hard time, I got all this stuff going on around me, and I'm just getting picked on, man.
I can't breathe
Tough.
right now.
All right, let's move on to the next one. Smash or trash on Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. You know what? I'm gonna smash.
Yeah,
To the Baldwin brothers in general.
I'm with you.
Smash.
Smash.
Actually, Alec Baldwin is my favorite Baldwin brother. So.
I like Daniel Baldwin. Wait, which one was on? It was in Usual Suspects.
Yeah, dude, he's sick too. I don't know. I think it's Daniel Baldwin. They're all pretty cool though. Like Alec Baldwin's like
Daniel Baldwin.
Yeah, I like Daniel.
Alec Baldwin's like he can do comedy too.
Yeah,
He's
really
funny. Plus,
you guys ever hear like the epic battles between Daniel Baldwin and Nick Cage, where they fight they argue with each other on the Howard Stern show about each other's careers and lives, like they hate each other's guts, and they start comparing their resume.
No, but I have to now.
Yeah, it's actually really good. It's hilarious.
No.
And Daniel Baldwin just keeps going back to, dude, I was in The Usual Suspects. What were you in? And Nick Cage is like, he's like trying to name things. He's like, you were in Face Off. I was in The Usual Suspects, bro. And he just keeps going and going and going. It's pretty good. I like the Baldwin.
Oh yeah, we actually got corrected. It was Stephen Baldwin in The Usual Suspects.
So it's Stephen Baldwin
Steve.
arguing with Nick Cage, and I like Stephen Baldwin. Yes, you're right. Daniel's like the bigger, chubbier version of them all, isn't he?
Yeah. That was fun. I got to give him props. That's hip hop head since '87. So
Nice.
I want to give up some props there for correcting
Charlie.
us. It's Charlie.
That's our boy. I told you, Charlie's a smart man.
Well, he hooked us up there, man. There's no question about that. So it's a good thing that I do look over at that chat every once in a while, just for the purposes of accuracy. Moving on to the next one, though. Number 7, smash or trash on country music.
It's art, so smash.
I'm gonna smash it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's art. It's music. It's not my preference.
No.
But it does have its place in the world of art, in the world of music. Smash.
Smash too. It's probably the only music I don't really listen to ever.
Yeah.
But Smash, and you know what? There's some of the stories in country, like country personalities, are great. Like Johnny Cash's story, and Hank Williams, 29-year-old dies becoming an icon, alcoholic. They got these crazy stories about them, very tragic stories, which is reminiscent in the music they sing. But yeah, people like music. Smash.
Yeah, and lyrically they get right to the point.
Right to the point.
It's very different than with hip hop or rock music. You know what I mean? Like a little bit more poetic, underlying themes. Country music gets right to the fucking point. Yeah. So if your girl left you and you're drunk and you want to call her at 2 a.m., that's the lyric.
That's it.
Yep.
Like, I want to see my dog, but you kicked me out the house. Let me see my dog. They just want to see their dog. Let the man see his dog.
Right to the point. That's actually the reason why I'll actually come out and give it a trash. Just because I feel like I've been agreeing with you guys a little bit too much, so I want to disagree with you, but I also I'm gonna give it a trash. I mean, whether it's art or whatever it is, whatever. I hate it. I can't stand music. Yeah, there was a lot of whatevers. Yeah,
say
country music.
You can't hate country music with a beard like that. You are country music, dude.
You are. You're the embodiment.
And a plaid shirt.
Yeah. So
and,
that's what
and
you
the plaid shirt.
Embrace it. Yeah, and the plaid shirt. Wow, you are country music. Embrace that shit.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. You guys convinced me.
Yeah.
How do I argue those solid points these men just made?
There it is.
Solid points.
Solid points.
Last Smash or Trash is Smash or Trash to Yas and Bobby picking on Cliff for the entire show.
Yeah, do you know what Katie just said to me? Actually, you might, if you watch the rerun and go back like 40 seconds, Katie just in the background is just like, quit picking on Cliff. And she's not even joking. And in my head, I'm like, I'm not even picking on him right now. He's playing devil's advocate saying he hates country music. And she's totally defending you.
See, here's how I see it, Cliff. We wouldn't pick on somebody who couldn't handle it. That just means that your shoulders are strong enough to handle the criticism.
Yeah.
That's a compliment to you.
That
Wow.
1% that's not a goof can take it.
Exactly. There's that 1% of you that holds that shit down.
Holds it.
Love it. You guys are charming. I'll never deny that.
Our devious charm.
What I think what happens is you guys tear me down just to build me back up, right?
That's it. That's it.
I love you guys for it. All right, let's get into our final Smash or Trash before our Q&A session. Smash or Trash to encores.
Which?
Encores.
Encores?
I'm still not understanding what you're saying.
Smash or Trash, maybe if I add this to it, musical encores.
Oh, an encore.
Yes,
I thought you
encore.
said phone cords. I was like, I love phone cords, but we don't have phone cords anymore. Do people even know phone cords exist?
I don't know.
Yeah, encores are great.
Yeah. I'm gonna smash. What's wrong with an encore?
Too.
You just get more to watch, more to see.
I hate doing encores. I do them. Like, I love doing them because it means the fans care and that energy is like, okay. But it's like, I'm so exhausted by the end of the show and I'm sitting there kneeling, looking over at Bobby going, oh my God, do we do it? Do we do it? Do we do it? Of course we do it. And then you do it and you love it. But yeah, smash encores.
Yeah, I agree. Smash.
All right, have you ever been to a show, Bobby? Either of you guys. Have ever been to like a concert, and maybe not necessarily someone you wanted to see, like you went with a date or friends, and you saw this band, and they played for like 2 hours, like way more than they should have played, and you just want to get out of there. And then the encore kicks in, and their encore is like 20 minutes long, and you just want to shoot yourself? Does that ever happen?
That happens to me every time I go see a show. Literally. Yeah.
But you're still giving encores a smash with that information.
I am. But to be honest, nowadays, like a lot of the live music that I watch now, it's just like local stuff, right? I don't really go to a lot of shows. I actually have a hard time. I actually have a hard time going to shows. It's not because I don't like it or enjoy it. It's just the artist in me. I want to be up there playing, and you can call it a jealousy thing or whatever you want, but yeah. And so a lot of bands that I see are kind of like local bands, and a lot of them are just not good. So to answer Yas's point,
it's like hurry up.
Yeah, 20 minutes could feel like an hour. Do you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a trash once again. Again, I've been agreeing with you guys too much. But that's not the reason, because most of the time, kind of like Bobby just said, most of the time when they do an encore, I'm just like, oh, just fucking end.
Yeah, it's done. We're done at that point.
Yeah, because like, if you're doing an encore, which the original, when people were doing encores is when they gave such an amazing performance that they just had to do an encore, right? But now it's just like it's expected. Like you after every single performance, it's like it's not even an encore anymore. It's actually just part of the show. And so it's not a legitimate encore.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Play the last song. I know exactly.
So big trash for me in its current form.
With you. I'm with you.
Wicked. I'm glad I could kind of convince you guys of something. You guys have been making such awesome.
You told me, Cliff. I'm going trash now.
You know what? I'm gonna follow suit, Cliff, because your argument was convincing, and it pulled out my emotions. You won me, sir. Trash.
Thank you.
I meant trash. Full triad trash. Thanks to the great speech by Cliff.
Look at this. Everything's turned around. This is awesome. And you know what? I have to give all the credit to Katie because I feel like Katie is she inspired this. She inspired this entire turnaround. She always believed in me, right? And she actually helped me to believe in myself.
So you're saying basically me and Yas don't. She always believed in me, but he didn't mention me and Yas. Wow.
I really should not have been taking a sip of water as you were saying that because that got dangerous. All right, boys, you guys killed it. Honestly, this was a fun smash or trash. I think you guys are doing a great job. And you know what? You keep seeing me roll away, and if you guys are wondering what I'm doing, it's because I'm actually on the Facebook page posting the things that we're smashing and trashing. So it forces me to kind of roll back and forth a little bit.
I think it's lies. I think you're just going back to the chat board to see what's going on.
Yeah. No, I'm doing the chat board right from here, so I can just look up here, and then I got the tab.
Does the chat, when people are talking and a message pops up, is there a sound that accompanies it? Like a bloop?
Are you guys hearing that? Are you guys hearing that?
I thought I heard a bloop. I could be wrong.
Do it again, Bobby.
A bloop. 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 Did MSN sound like that?
That's pretty much identical to what it sounds like.
Right.
I thought I got a message, to be honest with you, when you did it.
Maybe you did.
Remember ICQ or whatever? You used to go,
Yeah, oh, I hated that.
You remember that thing?
What did it sound like? There you
go. We got to sample that. We got a couple. I want to say a couple of things that were said on here. Our boy OB actually made a comment, and he said, "Amen, Bobby." So I think he was agreeing with you on your opinion on encores. And then we got a question from, or not a question, well, kind of a question from Guest 741 saying, "Why would you go to shows where you don't want to see the band?" I guess that's a question for you, Bobby.
Well, that's easy because I usually don't know who the band is until I have to be sitting there. Like, I'll go to a club that has live bands and hoping to find something good. I'm very rarely pleased. So.
And you know what? I'll add to that. Even bands I enjoy, I go watch, and I never really have the best of times. Like last summer, I went and saw Jane's Addiction and Alice in Chains, two bands I thoroughly enjoy. And the shows are never that great for me. Like it's like I would have enjoyed myself more sitting at home listening to their albums, to be honest. So why am I sitting in Molson Amphitheater and burning sun with 20,000 people in a shitty sounding venue for 2 hours? It's not as fun. I like intimate shows though. Intimate shows are fun. Yeah.
Where things get really intimate. Kind of like this intimate show that you guys have coming up on June 30th at the Trevi. It's an intimate show. It's the Quarantine. You guys can find it on Facebook. You guys could actually go to the 705 on Cedar Street. It's across from Peddlers. And you guys can pick up some tickets. I think we've sold over half the tickets so far, eh, guys?
Yeah, limited seating. I mean, limited capacity, I should say. That's why we're calling it Quarantine. We got our boy C. Perry joining the bill. We're gonna have a really cool cipher with some of our favorite MCs locally. That's K Karma, Ronan Cheza, Black Roche, and Johnny B doing like an on-stage thing all together. It should be really cool, really fun. We're also doing a VIP thing with Justine Giles, who you guys know, one of our favorite Misfits. So it's going to be a special night. We got our boy Brad No hosting. It's gonna be cool. We haven't been to Sudbury. We're actually doing this. This is more of we're doing it. Our boy Steve Faulkner, hit us up and said, you guys want to help out and do something special for me and my people, and here we are. We're coming to Sudbury to do this small, little, intimate gathering. So I hope to see you guys there. Get your tickets now.
All right, so we're moving out of the section of the show called Smash or Trash and moving into Q&A. So this is an opportunity for me to ask the guys some questions on your behalf, and I just got a question that just popped up. It's by OB, actually. OB asks, ever meet one of your idols and they're a total douchebag?
That's a good question. Shout out OB. That's a good question. No, both Yas and I have been lucky enough to meet a lot of people and play with a lot of people that we look up to. I've never really had somebody I met who was a complete douchebag that I liked. I have met somebody who I wasn't really a big fan of and who was a douchebag, and that's Jared Leto. He's a douchebag.
Goof. He's 100% of the time a goof.
Yeah, he's 100% goof.
Goof.
So yeah, I think Jared Leto's probably the only dude.
That's disheartening to hear.
He's a. I don't even want to get into it. That guy's just.
But I was never
goof and a loser.
I was never a fan of him though. So like anybody like I was a fan of, like I was a huge fan of Ozzy Osbourne. We got to meet Ozzy. He was awesome.
But you know what else? Sometimes you meet bands and people who you don't really like their music.
The opposite.
Want to hate them, and then you meet them and they're like the nicest, right? What do they say? BBGG, like bad band, good guys, or whatever.
BGBBs. Yeah, good guys, bad band.
You've kind of like sparked my curiosity a little bit. Do you have an example of a story that you could share with us that would kind of let us know why this Mr. Jared Leto, who is an extremely talented actor, and I'm sad to hear that he's a shitty dude.
He's overrated. He's he performed well in one movie. To be honest, I don't like him in anything else. Watch him in Alexander, watch him in a lot of his films. I actually think he sucks. He got lucky to play a role of a transvestite, which he played very well. He played a tranny, excellent. And he won an award for it. Good for him. But but you know who else? We were friends with the guys from Good Charlotte. And a story I always remember they told us was their idols were Weezer. Their favorite band. They grew up on Weezer, loved Weezer. Weezer was their idols. And they got to play a show at Weezer in an arena, like a one-off. And they were so excited, and they went down to go meet Rivers. I think it was Rivers Cuomo, or maybe it was some of the other band. And they walked up to him, and he basically said, something along the lines of, you guys should stand on the other side, away from me. And they were just like, that's our idol. He literally just told us to screw off. And Joel, I think, was it Joel? Joel from Good Charlotte said he literally walked back on the bus, their tour bus, took their entire Weezer collection and threw it out the window. And it just totally destroyed their love for one of their idols. So we've never experienced that, unfortunately. One of my idols is Brother Jay from X-Clan, and I got to meet him and tour with him, and just a humble, cool cat. So, yeah.
But you made a good point, yes. Like, the opposite happens more often. Like,
Yeah.
Good Charlotte, I was never a fan of Good Charlotte. I personally thought their music was real super corny. And we were on tour with them. We were doing, like, Edge Fest 2. And I remember the first date, and I'm like, oh, I got to watch Good Charlotte every night. I got to hear that shit. And they turned out to be wonderful people, good people. In fact, we hung out with them the most on that tour.
Yeah, they became
Good Charlotte. Oh, I know a band that was douchebags as well. Is Sum 41.
Yeah, they were complete douchebags.
Yeah, fuck Sum 41. Yeah. So Good Charlotte.
Fight with those guys. Well, not them. They had that other band. Remember? What was their little pop punk band that they were like under them, like?
Not by choice.
Not by choice. I remember going to an event and I almost like got into like an altercation with Not by Choice because they were with their Sum 41 buddies and wanted to be cool. Yeah, it actually almost got physical. But here's a band that I couldn't stand and despise and wanted to hate was Simple Plan. And then we met Simple Plan, and they were like the nicest, sweetest guys in the world. They all had these French accents, and even they were so nice, and I was still like, I still can't like those guys. And then they released their album, the one that ended up selling like 1 million copies, and inside it said, thank you to Yas and Bobby and Project Wise. I was like, oh my God, they like personally thanked us. Nice guys. Bad
Nice
band.
guys.
Nice guys.
Good
bad.
guys. Good guys, bad band.
Good guys, bad
Hey,
band.
you guys remember Tom Hankey from the Blue Jays, the pitcher from the Blue Jays?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I met him once. I used to be a big fan of baseball, surprisingly enough, considering I don't watch it at all now. But when I was a kid, I was a big fan, and I had this really cool calendar, this really cool Blue Jays calendar, and I was in Killarney. Some of my family on my mom's side is from the little town of Killarney, and I guess they were just passing down the channel, the Blue Jays, right? And so they came, and we all kind of gathered at this area by the fish stand, the really popular fish stand in Killarney. Have you been to that one in Killarney?
I've heard about it. People talk about it.
Legendary. Legendary. It's amazing. So we're all by the fish stand, and I go up to Tom Hankey, and I was like, yo, can I have your autograph? And he's like, hey, no problem, kid. Hey, what's this cool calendar? I've never seen this before. This is awesome. Hold on, let me show this to my friend. He shows it to his friend. Next thing you know, I'm standing there. I never get my calendar back.
Tom Hankey stole your calendar?
Tom Hankey stole my fucking Blue Jays calendar that I went to him to get signed.
Why would he steal it? I don't understand.
No idea.
Tom Hankey was a beast, too. He was, like, crazy.
I think he was crazy because he stole a little kid's Blue Jays calendar. That's a
That
crazy
was my calendar, Hankey? Or, like, he just disappeared with it?
He kind of was... Well, he ended up being in the crowd because there was a bunch of them, and they were probably like around managers and agents, and like they had a whole entourage. And I was just a little kid, you know. I'm like 12 years old. I can't get near him now, and I keep like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Mr. Tom Hankey has my calendar, and never got the calendar back.
Tom Hankey screwed you.
Screwed me big time. You know what? He kind of stole a little boy's dream, you know. I was a big baseball fan. I wasn't after that.
No, I guess not. I'd be pissed off too if Reggie Miller stole my calendar.
Oh my God! Jesus,
Damn.
I wouldn't want to see that day.
Yeah, crazy.
'Cause I feel like you would just give Reggie Miller like anything that he ever wanted.
Pretty much. But I met Reggie Miller. I had an opportunity when I was 16 years old. My brother flew me to Indiana and set up like I don't know how we did it, but I ended up meeting Reggie and hanging out with him, and that was like my greatest idol of all time, and probably still is of anyone living, outside of like people like Malcolm X and Bruce Lee. But living, that was like the greatest. What's the word I'm using again? Idol, right? That was like my greatest idol, and I met him, and he was amazing. He was incredible. And do you know what I brought Reggie Miller? I bought him a gift, Cliff.
Nice. What'd you bring him?
All the way, because I was living in Sudbury at the time. Flew to Indiana to meet him. I brought him a Sudbury Wolves jersey.
No.
An authentic. I went, as a kid, I spent like $120, like you said, to get a nice, beautiful jersey. Because even back then, like, the whole hockey jerseys were popular, like with Black Moon and Smith & Wesson, right? It's like the hockey jerseys were in. And I bought him a Sudbury Wolves jersey.
Oh, that's
and he
awesome.
Thought it was so cool. He thought it was so cool.
Oh, that is cool. Did you get a picture of that?
Yeah, I do. I actually have a picture with me and Reggie holding the Wolves jersey. I have a picture of that.
Dude, take a picture of that. Katie, this is a job for you. Katie, take a picture of that with your cell phone and then send it over to me and I'll post it online. Deal?
I may have to go digging for it, so it might be next episode, but I have it. I have that exact photo. Me, Reggie, a Sudbury Wolves jersey, and I'm wearing a Band-Aid on my face because I love dissects. Is that weird?
Yeah. What a gangster this guy is. Listen, I got to get through some of these questions though because we are we're going into overtime, man. We're just about going into an encore, guys. So we're gonna get through some of these questions. I have a question from James Wilson. Let's try to get through these a little bit quicker. I won't add any ridiculous stories to these, I promise. James Willison says, a few years back you went on tour with Tech Nine. I just wanted to know, what was it like, and has Tech influenced you in any way?
Good question. James, thanks for the question. What was it like? It was awesome. One of my favorite tours. Yas and I, during that tour, didn't actually know what to expect. We didn't know a lot about Tech Nine before we toured with them. We had no idea what to expect, but we were pleasantly surprised. Every show was awesome. Tech Nine is a super down to earth, cool kind of dude. So the tour was actually one of my personal favorite tours. As for what's the second part of that?
Did he inspire us at all in any way?
I think his work ethic. You know what I mean? He works hard at his craft. He takes his craft seriously. He loves what he does. So in that essence, maybe so. But we're two different artists, so not in terms of musically.
Everything Bobby said, one of the funnest tours. I don't think he's inspired us at all in any possible way, including work ethic. I think we've worked harder than Tech Nine our entire lives, to be quite frank, since we were 13 years old. But what Tech Nine did is he showed, and not necessarily Tech Nine, but the whole Strange Music Camp and Travis showed that an independent band can be extremely successful, especially financially, and they have a team and the resources around them to make that happen. So that's been a positive for us to look at that and be like, okay, we don't need the major label to do it, right? So that's been part of going with 682 and doing what we're doing now.
Beautiful. Moving on to the next one. Andrew Wiggins, he says, fish fingers and chips. He says hit or miss, but we'll do smash or trash because that's how we do it. Andrew Wiggins asks, fish fingers and chips, hit or miss? Speaking of, fish stands, right?
Well, first of all, his name's Andrew Wiggins?
Am I saying that right? Andrew Wiggins.
Is that real? Is this actually Andrew? Is Wiggins watching our show?
Yeah, Wiggins, where you at, Wiggins?
Wiggins,
come on to the chat, Wiggins.
Yeah, it's hit or miss. Fish and chips, like anything else. Speaking on that, I've never been to Killarney to try the fish and chips, but that's their legend, right? Their fish and chips.
Well, it's not really a legend because it's a reality. You could go there at any time and try them out, so it's definitely...
I know it's a reality, but everybody talks about it, and I haven't been there. So to me, it's a legend right now.
That's a good point. Good point.
Yeah, so, hit or miss on fish and chips.
Is that what is he saying? Is it hit or miss, or is he asking if it's a smash or a trash on fish and chips?
I think he's saying, is it a hit or is it a miss? What do you?
Yeah.
That's.
Oh, okay.
So you got to go one way or another.
I'm gonna go trash. I'm not really into in terms of like classic traditional fish and chips, like English style. Deep fried fish, not really a big fan of. So I'm gonna go trash.
I'm going to go hit because I think there's a place for fish and chips. Now, I'll be quite honest. I think I've only had fish and chips maybe twice in my entire existence as a human being. I think one of the times was with Bobby and my brother because they were craving fish and chips once when we were living in London. I remember.
Dude, your brother went through a fish and chip phase, right?
Crazy.
So like this phase actually lasted a long time, and there was this place in London that Mo used to speak about, kind of like Killarney, right? He built up this legend. He's like, you got to try. This is the best fish and chips in the world. And Mo's there's the credibility there because Mo's traveled a lot around the world. So I'm like, all right, that fish and chips was fucking awesome.
It was good. I don't remember. I never liked seafood. I only had a recent liking for seafood over the last couple of years where I've actually embraced fish and seafood and enjoy it now. So maybe now if I tried it, I'd enjoy it. So that's why I say hit, because I know people love fish and chips, and I think maybe now if I had like really good... If I went into a cool little spot here on Queen Street and the chef had a big beard, I would think it would be like a hit.
Beautiful. All right, we got to move on to the next one, though, boys. Next one is from Pam Stanatus. What keeps you guys grounded and humble? So let's try to do this as quickly as possible. You know, not too quick. We want to get the real answer. You know, kind of quick.
We're actually not grounded and humble. We're complete fucking assholes, actually. So, good question. I think both Yas and I have always been grounded and humble. You know what I mean? We never think or ever thought that we were better than anybody, regardless of music or not. We just always just enjoyed being around people, enjoyed being around each other. A lot of things that hurt people don't really motivate us. So I think we've always been grounded and humble.
Yep, agreed completely. And also, I think just having good snacks at night keep me grounded, to keep me humble. Knowing that I have delicious snacks to watch shows and movies with, that it keeps me very happy.
Yeah, embracing the little things, or you know, they're not always little things to everybody. They're big things to some, right?
No, but that's right. I think that nails it. Like, this sounds cliche, but I think it is. It is enjoying the little things and embracing the little things in our lives. To go with what Bobby said.
Beautiful. Next one up is Jorge Villagomez. Thoughts on the World Cup and the protesters in Brazil. So we kind of talked about the World Cup, but thoughts on the protesters in Brazil.
Yeah, good. Go for it. Good for them, and I support them. Like I said, that's their country, that's their homeland. You know, the brutality they're experiencing now through enforcement and their government. It's terrible. Again, these people are starving. They haven't had food to eat. That's why so many Brazilians get into things like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where all they need to do is find a mat and roll on the ground, or play soccer with a little ball. It's as frugal of sporting activities as possible. And there's just such a strong poverty line there that to see them spending billions of dollars, it's madness. And so, yeah, I support them, and I think more people should be supporting them.
Yeah, I agree, and I hope it grows in numbers, because there's a reason why they're protesting, and I support that.
All right, well,
and we both send, all three of us send our safety to all of them, because I know it's been pretty harsh for some of them out there. People are putting their lives on the line for what they believe in, justice.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. That's a lot more than most could say, right? So that means a lot.
Yeah,
well,
exactly.
we'll use that the fact that you brought up jiu-jitsu as a transition into our next question by Matt Dennison. What's your favorite MMA fight you've ever seen?
Oh.
Favorite fight? Whew. Vanderlei Silva Rampage is one of my favorites.
Woo.
A lot of the Pride fights I always think of most, like a lot of the Fedor fights, a lot of the Crow Cop fights, a lot of the Shogun head stomp fights, soccer kick fight, like anything with Nick Diaz for me. Anything Anderson Silva for me. One of my favorite fights of all time, George St. Pierre against Matt Hughes, when he was able to defeat him for the belt, because it just meant so much. That was the beginning of Georgie's empire, defeating the American Hughes. So, a couple for me.
Yeah. A lot of people, like, when they pick favorite fights, it's like they're like super competitive fights, like where it goes down to the wire, things of that nature. I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to say my favorite MMA fight, or one of them, is Anderson Silva versus Forrest Griffin. I loved watching
that was amazing.
You know what I mean? It wasn't super competitive. It was just one of the best displays I've ever seen in my life. He destroyed him physically, mentally. He ran out of the ring. I think that's one of my favorite MMA fights.
Yeah, I'm going to get in on this question just because you guys know I'm such a huge MMA fan. And one of the first one I'm going to say is from just the experience of it, not necessarily the most technical fight ever, but from the experience of this fight is when Randy Couture came back and beat Tim Sylvia for the heavyweight title in the UFC. I remember watching that in a bar, and it was just on that verge of, you know, UFC was really starting to get popular, but wasn't quite where it is right now, right? And it was just such an unbelievably exciting fight. Tim Sylvia came off as such a douchebag. Randy Couture came off as just such a sweetheart. They sold the story was awesome, and it built into a really great fight and a fun fight to watch. But just off the top of my head, I mean, I reason, one of my favorite fights I've ever watched is the first fight between Benson Henderson and Anthony Showtime Pettis. I love it. I love that.
Great one. The kick, off the fence kick.
Yeah.
Mm. And I mean, that's the thing that kind of, because it was so epic and so amazing, it almost kind of took away from how brilliant that competition was.
Yeah, no, it was an incredible fight. Yeah, I'm with you.
Absolutely beautiful.
Katie's thrown in her 2 cents, so I got to name. She actually has a favorite fight, and it's actually a really good one. Her favorite fight is actually a Strike Force fight for the championship against Gilbert Melendez against Kawajiri. When Kawajiri was like one of the top guys coming from Japan to take Gilbert Melendez, and Melendez just destroyed him in such like dangerous fashion. I remember the knees up against the. That's her. She always talks about that. Like Gilbert Melendez is almost her favorite fighter, if not her favorite, besides the Diaz's, and she always talks about that fight.
Wow, I'm super impressed by that, and I think that
makes me proud. Like she's talking about Melendez.
Yeah, that made me actually really happy. That's not one that most people would pick. Amazing pick, Katie. You killed it. I think you got the best one of all. All right, let's finish this off with. Let me get in one more question here. All right, Steve Bull just wants you guys to mention or talk about briefly Joe Fontana being convicted and stepping down and still able to keep his $122,000 per year MP pension.
That's Fontana, Mayor of London?
Yeah.
Yes. Right? Yeah.
What can you say? It's just complete bullshit. It's criminal.
But what do people think happens with politicians, right?
Yeah.
Like people get taken out of office. Like say Rob Ford, say worst case scenario for him, they took him out of office. Like say he lost his job. Do you know the salary he's still going to retain as the former, even though he's been moved aside, mayor of Toronto? Like that's our tax dollars. They live comfortable, happy lives, and actually they always end up making more money once they're out of office. Because they work for lobbyists, you know.
And here's an interesting fact about MPs. They're actually entitled to their pensions only after 5 years of service. So
that's it. So
regardless of what happens, 5 years after that 5 years, they're entitled to that pension. So, yeah, not much else to say. It's fucked up.
Yeah, but that's not criminal. Let's look at the kid that robbed the store for $20 so he can eat. That's the monster criminal we need to keep behind bars. But these criminals that are taking us for everything we have as people, that's okay. That's just politics.
Yeah, and also the judicial system too. It's who you're targeting, right? They target poor people. They don't target white collar crime. So.
Yeah, there's no question. Some of the most heinous crime is definitely white-collar crime.
I agree.
Just gets colored in a different light. So yeah, that's the end of the questions right now, and I'm really excited about this new thing. We got this new website, MisfitMondays.com. I'm really pumped about it. How did you guys feel about the whole experience, Yas and Bobby, being on MisfitMondays.com? Did it change anything for you?
Well, I got to get used to you being focused now. That's an interesting thing, but it's amazing. I like the enthusiasm you have right now. You got such a smile right now, and it's because of I love it. So how can
the chat changed everything, dude.
That's
and
it.
I can't lie. I want to see the chat as it's happening. So I wasn't checking it out. You were. Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah. I'll do it next time. I was trying to stay focused here. I haven't been around for 2 weeks. I had to be on my game, but just seeing Cliff's face, love it.
Thanks, man. But seriously, it's so fun because people are asking you questions real time, right? And it's just so fun, and that's kind of been our whole goal with the show. Is we really wanted to come up with something interactive. We did not, our big fear was coming up with something where we were just sitting here on the screen talking at the camera, just talking about, how awesome Yas and Bobby are. We didn't want to do that, right? We want to talk about other things and all sorts of different things that are going on in the world, and we want to have the conversation with you. So we're super excited that you're involved, and we want to make sure that you keep sharing the show, man. That's how the show is going to grow. share the show with as many people as you know, and we could keep doing this and having fun together.
Yep. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at DC Status. It's underneath Bobby and myself's name tags. Go to the new site. We have deadcelebritystatus.com. Check out the merch. Check out 682 Records, the album, The Throwaway Kids. And now we have a new home for Misfit Mondays. Just go to misfitmondays.com. It can't get easier than that. Enjoy the show. All the old episodes are archived, and we have a little chat room. It's amazing.
Beautiful. Come on.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I'm going to go watch Game of Thrones season finale now, boys.
Can I hear that chat sound again? Can I hear the chat sound, Bobby?
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Absolutely perfect. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us live on Misfit Mondays. On behalf of Yas and Bobby of Dead Celebrity Status, my name is Cliff Skeletor. Oh, and on behalf of Katie as well, who's in the background that's been contributing quite awesomely to the show.
Hey.
We'd like to wish you a lovely week, and we will see you next week, Monday at 8 p.m. live. See you later. Peace. Double salute.
Peace, peace.
All men must die.